Here we have a Ford Transit Custom. It's the MSRT, so it's the really nice one. And as you can see from the colour, it's quite a nice popping colour. And what we're going to do an audio upgrade. So we're keeping the standard stereo, so that's not going to be changed at all, but we are going to improve the speakers on it and put a subwoofer in the back of it. Now this is a crew cab version, so if I just show you. So it's got seats in the back. So what we just laid it down here. We are, on this occasion here, we are installing this Phoenix Gold twin 10-inch subwoofer. It's a floor mounting subwoofer, but it fits on that bench seat really nice. And if you actually put anything on it, what have you, you're not going to damage the actual subwoofer. So that's going to improve the bass somewhat. We are going to change the front speakers. That's all going to look stealth, that's all going to look original. Even that, when that's shoved in there, you're not even going to see it, so you're not going to know that the audio has been upgraded in this. The speakers that we're going to fit in there are of high quality. We are going for ground zero, and we're using an amplifier to amplify them, because the standard stereo is not going to have enough power to get the benefit out of that speaker. And that's where we're going to be at the moment. But what we are going to do when we take the front speaker out, what we are going to do when we take the stereo out, we're not going to chop the wiring harness on that. We're going to fit a lead that's called a SOT lead, and that's going to basically allow us to integrate into the speakers itself for the amplification of the amplifier. So, right, we're going to crack on. So now it's all exposed, the stereo. So that's the main stereo. What we had there was the screen, which just displayed information from the stereo, but that is the actual stereo. This is the SOT Lead harness we was talking about. So instead of chopping this up to give us the feeds that we require, what we are doing is replacing it with a block that just fits in there nicely. If I put the right side in, and then that will go into the original stereo. And now we could actually do what we want with these wiring here, but we not damage the original Ford wiring loom at all. And in effect, it all could go back to standard quite easily if the customer chooses to do that at a later date. Right, now the door card's going to come off and we're going to replace the speakers in the door card. And once that's done, then we could tackle the tweeter and the A-pillars via crossover. So door cards first. Right, so that's the factory speaker there. What we are going to do, we're going to fit these rings on there, so then we could put the aftermarket speakers, and by doing this we're not again chopping things about, and we're also using a wiring harness plug. So we're using one of these, it's just going onto the standard block, so again we're not chopping the block up, and we're just being sympathetic about the actual fabric of the van. So if I show you the original speakers, so that's the factory speaker, and as you can see it's not of the highest quality. It's all paper coned, magnets tiny. The ring terminal that we're going to put in there is going to go in its place here, and all the original screw hole fitments fit, and then we're going to mount the actual aftermarket speaker on there. I'm just going to show you the speaker that we're going to put in as a comparison. So that's the speaker that we're going to be fitting, which is basically a ground zero speaker, GZRC 165.2 SQ. So it is a good quality speaker. One thing we've got to always remember is pulling these out, otherwise that'll nice and rattle in there nicely. But there you go. And as you could see, the difference between the speakers are massive. And that's going to produce such nice sound quality compared to that. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a slight sound deadening on this. It's not going to be a complete sound deadening. This is a service that we can offer as an extra, but obviously we're guided by the customer and obviously the customer's budget. So we're going to put a little bit behind the door skin so you don't get so much of this resonance. So it's like quite tinny, and just a little bit around the speaker, and that's all we're going to do. So it's not going to be full sound deadening. The customer may want that done at a future date, which we can offer that, but for now that's what we're going to do. Right, it's all done. So if you have a look, the actual speakers that we've changed is in the original position, so you don't actually know it's been done. The sub box is underneath the seat and it's secure, so it's not going to move around. And the thing is, there's still loads of room there for you to like put stuff behind there. You could put stuff on top of it, and that's not going to damage the subwoofer. It's all down firing. And if you come around the other side, the amplifier for the speakers is hidden away. The amplifier for the subwoofer is just underneath the seat, so it's just sitting there on a corner there. So it's out of the way. And it has its own separate bass controller, so it can increase or decrease the bass. So if you jump in, so as you can see, everything looks standard, nothing looks messed around with. Still got the original stereo, but the sound is just night and day from where it is. Obviously you can't hear it with the microphone that we got and the camera, but it is just night and day. So now we could increase the volume quite loud, and there's no distortion. There's no point of distortion until even right up to the onto the max, because I've turned the amplifier down, so there's a bit more control over it. And as far as the subwoofer is concerned, we've got a little bass controller, so he can go as mad as he wants with that, or we could turn it right down and have it hardly beating away. But now you've got proper bass in this van, where it really hardly had any bass at all, and the mid bass was a little bit laughable. So that's an audio upgrade we've done on this. So we upgraded the speakers and the subwoofer with amplification using the standard factory head unit, so using the factory standard signal to do that on this Ford Transit Custom MSRT.